Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Locker Room Podcast. We're excited to be back coming off of spring break last week, and we had a bunch of stuff happen. So we have a lot of stuff that we got to recap right now. Starting off, James Salvatore was named MEC Baseball Player of the Week. You can remember him from one of our episodes a few weeks back. And then our softball team swept Bowie State this past week, and our acro and tumbling team had their first nationally ranked win against Converse University. We also had the MEC tournament for basketball. We had a first team MEC selection, Corinne Thomas, and then we had an honorable mention selection, Carly McCutcheon, for our women's basketball teams. And then for our men's basketball teams, John Cordy and Zach Rousseau were both named to second team All MEC as well as the All Tournament team. And Kyler DiAugustino was named MEC Freshman of the Year. And then we had one first team All MEC selection with Christian Montague. And he is also our guest for today's podcast. So I hope you guys just enjoy this week's episode as I talk with Christian and he talks about just recapping the basketball season that our team has had so far this year, as well as just his career as a whole, and just in prep for this week's regional tournament where our basketball team is ranked 4th going into it to play this weekend. All right, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
Of course. So normally in the podcast, we like to start and go back all the way to the beginning, but I was thinking for this episode, I want to talk about what's going on right now because our men's basketball team just finished up the regular season as co-MEC champions, just had the MEC tournament this past weekend where you finished runner-up, and then for the 15th year in a row, our men's basketball team just qualified for the regional tournament. So let's just talk a little bit about that to start off with. What are kind of like your team's thoughts coming off of the MEC tournament and then preparing for regionals this coming weekend?
Obviously, the MEC tournament didn't go the way we wanted to, but I guess we're just using it as like a learning point because we're still playing right now. So we're just going to try to get out of regionals, hopefully. And we had a conversation with Coach Howlett, and he said he's been on teams where we lost the MEC tournament and still won a region. So that's our goal right now, is win a region.
Yeah. So is there anything that you think that you guys are like really focusing on within like your practices this week, getting ready to compete? What is it, Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. I just think working on what we did wrong, just trying to figure that out, and hopefully we can lead regionals.
Yeah.
Make it to Elite Eight again.
Yeah, and then the region this year, I was looking at kind of the bracket for it, and there was 3 other MEC teams that qualified, but we are on the opposite side of the bracket. So there is a chance that depending on like who comes out of our side versus who comes out of the other side, that there could be another MEC matchup for the regional championship. Have you guys kind of thought that far, or do you really just take it like one game at a time?
No, we haven't thought that far at all. Just trying to keep it to one game at a time.
Yeah. So you guys have Millersville for your first game. That's a 4-5 seed matchup. What have you been doing to like specifically prepare for them? Have you like watched film more? Because that's not a team that you've played regular season, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. Really haven't done nothing yet, but a lot of us know about Millersville just because it's a PSAC team, and we watch some of those games just because of the regionals. So we'll find out this weekend what we're gonna do.
Yeah. And then I know for me, like if we either have like a really close meet with a team or like on the off chance like you lose against a team, I always want to play them again like right away. Like I can't stand that. I'm like, I want to play them right now because I know we could beat them the second time. So I know we said you don't want to like jump ahead and think about that, but if it did end up having like another MEC matchup or where you could potentially be playing Charleston again for the regional championship, what do you think like your thoughts would be going into that?
I think we all would want to play Charleston again. Like, sadly, they've beat us 3 times, so I think we would love to play them again, just so we could get that sour taste out of our mouth.
Yeah.
So.
And then looking at like regionals this year, what do you feel like personally your thoughts are going into it, just knowing that one, where the team was last year, winning the region, making it on all the way to the national championship game, plus knowing that this year, no matter what, this is your like last regional tournament. What's kind of like, where's your head at thinking about it like that?
It's a little sad knowing like I don't got too many games left, but I think it helps that we got guys on the team from last year that played in regionals, and they can help guys that haven't been there yet.
Hmm.
Like they might not know what to expect yet, but I think that might help us a little bit versus teams who are a little younger than us because our team is a little bit older.
Yeah. Um, okay, so with the MEC tournament this past weekend, um, I know we talked about like the outcome wasn't exactly what you wanted,
Yeah.
but there was still some like really great things that happened, like your first round game.
Hmm.
What was it? Broke the record for most threes
Yeah, I think we
in.
tied our record. Yeah, from
Okay.
last year.
So what is the energy like going into the MEC tournament whenever it's not like a home game,
Hmm.
but it's still in Wheeling, it's very close to here.
Yeah.
What's kind of like the energy of the team like getting ready for that? And do you think it's the same or do you think it's different getting ready for the regional tournament?
It's probably a little different just getting ready for the regionals because with us we knew we were still gonna play, but it's still like exciting, like even playing at the MSU tournament just because it's in Wheeling, but it still feels like a home game for us
Yeah.
with all the fans still showing up. Like, our fans are great. They
Yeah.
show up, yeah.
I like that you mentioned that because I feel like for all of Westlib's home games and a lot of the away games because our fans do travel a
Yeah.
lot, what is that like just knowing that no matter where you're playing at, whether it's a home game or if it's traveling to Erie this weekend
Hmm.
or traveling wherever it would be because you guys kind of compete all over,
Yeah.
knowing that you have like such a strong fan base and such like a strong following, what is that like getting to play for them?
It's it's fun. We really appreciate them. Like we played in Florida this year, and we had the most fans easily, and we just don't take them for granted because, like Coach always says, that's all they care about up here is basketball. It's one of the things, but really appreciative of them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at like the season as a whole, um, right now you're leading scorer, you're leading the team in assists. What do you think personally you really like worked for coming off of the national championship game last season, getting ready to go into your last season playing here?
Uh, Really, it was the same goal. We want to get back to the national championship. We still got a chance to do that, but it's hard. So that's really all I wanted to do was get back there, to be honest, because that was probably the cool experience I had basketball wise, at
Hmm.
least. I'm gonna say, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What so I mean, I feel like a lot of people you play like so many people play their whole life and never make it
Hmm.
that far. So do you feel like if you guys did make it a second time, do you think you'd be able do you think it would feel the same as last year or do you feel like it would be like completely different feeling since you've already experienced it once?
Nah, I think it'd still be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that goes on with it, I would enjoy it again for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you think you would be I don't want to use the word like nervous because I don't know how you feel before you go into
yeah,
games. But I'm sure there was a lot of hype last year over the national championship game, um, with like the matchup and everything. And so I'm sure there was a lot of like the pregame jitters and like all the emotions going
yeah,
into it. Do you feel like going into it again, you would maybe have like less of those jitters, like being on the big stage for
yeah.
the second time, or do you think it would just be just as fresh as it was last year?
Not it's just as fresh. It'd still be there for sure. Like
Yeah,
that place, it's just cool. Like a cool experience to like just do that. I don't know.
yeah.
It's definitely still be there.
So I feel like whenever you see like your team, anytime you walk through the ASRC, there's going to be guys out there that are shooting or working out or doing something. What do you think it is about your team that makes it so special in the sense that like everyone is always just like working so hard and doing as much as they can? And like what's kind of like your thoughts from being like on the player side of that?
Part of that is just like coach. He's always on us about getting in the gym, getting extra shots, and the gym's open. Like even after practice, that's all he says: "Gym's open, gym's open." And I think that's just beat into our head so much that everybody's in the gym, and it makes a difference from us being in the gym. I think it correlates to um, practice to games. So,
Yeah. So I also feel like whether it's in the gym or like walking through campus or in the caf, you usually see like a lot of the guys on your team together.
yeah.
So I think that's a really like special thing, and not all teams do have that. So talk maybe just like a little bit about like the bond that your teammates have with each other and like the friendships that you guys
Yeah.
have off the court.
Yeah, we're really close off the court. Like everybody we hang out as a team, outside of basketball too. It's it's one of the best things here. Like we're all close. Some teams aren't that close, but I think that like actually makes a difference how close your team is when you're
Mm-hmm.
playing in a basketball game, and you really don't do much like not together. So
Yeah. No, I feel like you can tell that. And whenever you see teams that have like those close friendships and close relationships, I think off the court, it definitely like you can tell when you're playing together really well too. Um, so do you have any like other like lasting thoughts or anything else that you've maybe been thinking of just like kind of getting ready for the, I guess in a sense, like the end of your basketball career as a college athlete?
no, if I'm being honest, I've been staying away from it. I haven't
Yeah,
really thought
trying to
about.
not think about
I haven't thought
it.
about it much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so tell everyone again how long you've been playing college basketball.
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a crazy
So,
story.
yeah, so I think we got to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
So, we've been highlighting like this past year and keep saying your last year, but let's kind of go back a little bit and just kind of tell everyone like how it came to be that you're now in your
yeah.
7th year playing college basketball.
All right, so my freshman year, I redshirted. A bunch of stuff happened to me where I had surgery, like torn biceps. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then my sophomore year, I tore my ACL my first college game.
Wow.
So I medical redshirt. And that was actually my second time tearing my ACL. I tore both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then my junior year didn't count because of COVID. So my first year counted towards eligibility was my senior year of college.
And was that at a different school or was that at Westwood?
That was at my senior year was at Walsh. So I
Okay.
college.
So then you graduated from there and then you decided to transfer. So you got a whole college degree with only using 1 year of eligibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So then after that, since that's like coming the season off of everything that happened with COVID, what made you decide that you wanted to transfer? And then how did you like ultimately pick to come to Westwood?
Well, I got 2 degrees at Walsh, and I just wanted something new. And West Liberty actually recruited me out of high school.
Okay.
Coach Howlett was the one recruiting me. He was just an assistant coach. And then when I got in transfer portal, they were like one of the first schools to like hit me up. Came on a visit. Talked to Coach Howlett. He actually put me on the deadline. So that's kind of like how I ended up here. He told me if I got on the plane to Florida, he knew I wasn't coming back. So that's how I ended up here, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you feel like what, other than just like Coach Howlett and like him recruiting you, was there any like anything specific that made you say like, okay, like I definitely want to come to West Liberty?
Yeah, the winning, and then when I came here, I met some of the guys, and they were all pretty cool. So and I could tell they were close, and that was kind of a big part with me because at Walsh we were all super close. Yeah.
So that was something that was important to you.
Yeah.
So then that was your 4 years there. So you've played 3 years total here, and then you've already graduated once from Westlake. Okay, so then what are you doing right now academically?
A second master's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you just do that so you could continue playing
Yeah,
basketball?
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. So what are all of like your different degrees in?
I got an undergrad in criminal justice psychology and then a master's in criminology.
Okay, and then which one are you working right now?
The leadership and coaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny. My undergrad was in political science and criminal justice. Didn't want to do anything with that. Then came here and started coaching, and then I got my master's in coaching. So it's kind of funny how they like don't correlate at all, but it works. So if you were maybe talking to somebody that they're either like still in high school or they were like more specifically to match kind of your story, like someone that's maybe in the transfer portal looking for like a new home, what would you want to say to them about like what's made Westlake so special to you?
The people around here, like there's people that like feed us breakfast. They come with all these different type of treats and candies after games. Coach Howard's a big reason why. Like the winning culture, it's kind of hard to turn down. You come in here, you look at all the banners, it's like I want to win some games.
You want to be a part of that?
Yeah,
absolutely. So then I know you said you're not like trying to think too much about it, but do you have any plans for after this semester? Because are you graduating again this semester?
Like just after basketball, like just talking to like some people about going overseas to play like professionally. So hopefully I do that. It's kind of like my main goal. If not, trying to get a job, federal government. I've had some people reached out about that. So and probably just stay around here and keep working at me and Chaz Hines are like a team director, so we got our own group of teenagers. So
Oh, that's
Probably
awesome.
keep doing that for a little bit until I
Yeah.
find out.
Well, two things I was thinking when you said that. One, I think especially in the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of guys from Westlake, a lot of guys in the MEC as a whole that do go on to play
Yeah.
professionally overseas in different countries. Um, so I definitely feel like whenever you see other people kind of go before you, that kind of helps to like
No, for sure.
motivate you,
Yeah.
not only motivate, but then to have kind of like some more connections.
Mhm.
So I think it's always like really awesome to see the people going to do that.
Yeah.
But then secondly, talk a little bit more about what you and Chaz do because we had Chaz on the podcast
Yeah.
back at the beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
So just kind of tell everyone what that's about.
So it's like we got a group of teenagers, and it's from like I don't know, probably sixth graders all the way to seniors. I think we got like 18 kids now, 18, 20 kids, and we basically do like different activities with them. We try to do like whatever they want to do. Sometimes it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
We try to do like some academic stuff. Like we just had a group come in like just talking about internet, like internet safety.
Okay.
We've had like field days, done all kind of stuff like archery classes, and then we just recently started a mentorship group where our teenagers like are mentors to like third and fourth graders. So that's kind of what we do.
How do you like guys get started in that?
I started there first, like my second year here. And when Chaz came here last year, I kind of needed some help. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's like asking her teammates, and Chaz worked out well for it. So
Yeah. So that kind of goes into my next like couple questions I was going to ask. Um, is just besides basketball and school, which take up so much of your time,
yeah,
what else could maybe like someone find you doing within the school year? Like if you ever do have an off day
yeah.
or just like some free time.
We go golfing a lot.
Yeah.
Some of us not that good, but we still go golfing a lot. Doing the team group. About it, really. We golf a lot. Maybe
Yeah.
play some spike ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, free time is definitely minimal, I'm
Yeah.
sure. What about like in the summers or like outside of the school year, whenever you actually have like a little bit more free time?
Yeah.
What's kind of like what could people find you doing then?
Golfing still.
Yeah.
I'm still golfing a lot. I'm still playing basketball, working out, travel some. I don't do much other than that,
Yeah,
really.
that's
Yeah.
okay. Um, well, that's kind of hitting on a lot of the different things. Is there anything else, I guess, just kind of like reflecting on all of your time at Westlake, your time in college in general, that you've kind of been like thinking about, um, just as your like this chapter is coming to a close soon?
Yeah.
Not yet, but soon.
Yeah. No, I'm really appreciative for like the 7 years. Not everybody gets that long of time. Like I always say, you get like a small 4 to 5 window for like college basketball or school at least, and I'm appreciative. I think I've like learned and grown since I've been in college. Obviously, when I came to college, I was 18, and now I'm 24, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and this is the last thing that I was thinking as far as basketball and like the regional this weekend. Um, what is like the team's encouragement to anybody that is like maybe thinking about making the trip up to Erie? Like, how does the support just really help you guys? And what does that mean to you whenever you get to travel somewhere else and just see like all of your Westlake fans up in the stands?
Just like with our team and how we like appreciated them.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Like just because you look and stand, some of those other teams don't have no fans up there, so I think it makes us just more pumped up for the games and ready to go. Really.
Yeah. So if you're listening, you have to make the trip up to Erie to watch the guys play this weekend. All right. Well, anything else to kind of wrap up all that, or you feel good?
No, thanks for having me.
Well, we're not done yet.
Oh,
We're not done yet.
Okay.
We still have to do rapid fire
I
questions.
got you.
So I'm gonna ask you these, and you just have to answer with the first thing that you think of.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. What is your pregame hype song?
Oof. It's a little harder than I thought. I don't know. Probably some Little Baby. My last song's always a gospel song now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. After a game, what's like your go-to like snack or meal that you want to eat first?
Fried chicken.
Okay. Do you have any like game day superstitions?
I always eat a Twix.
Okay. If you didn't play basketball, what sport would you want to play?
Football.
Okay. And then now this has to be clean,
Okay.
but what's something that your coach says a lot?
Oh. He says a lot. Probably I'm comfortable being uncomfortable.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, so now this is the last question, and this is what I close every single episode with. Um, and I ask all of our guests.
Okay.
So, if you could go back in time 7 years ago to your freshman year move-in day, what would you want to tell yourself then, based off of everything that you've like learned and what you know now?
I'd probably just tell myself to just not worry so much and just live with mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned a lot. Yeah, like school for this long. So
Mhm.
that's probably what I just tell myself.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being the guest on the podcast today. I love having you. I'm excited for everyone to hear more about you, and good luck this weekend at regionals.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you can catch Christian and the rest of the men's basketball team tonight in the opening round of the regional tournament against Millersville in Erie, PA. Also, today and tomorrow, our wrestling teams are starting their quest for a national championship in Park City, Kansas, where we have 6 different wrestlers competing for a national title. Also, our baseball and softball teams both have double headers at home tomorrow and Sunday, as well as again on Wednesday. All right, as always, make sure that you're following the Locker Room Podcast and WLU Athletics on all social media platforms, as well as subscribing to the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You just don't want to miss any of our updates, our announcements, and any of our awesome guests that we have on every week. Make sure that you tune back in next week whenever I'm here to talk with another student athlete.